Let me show you something real quick. It's a vision I had a couple of days ago when I was looking into somebody. I had quite a few little chats with people to ask them, how are you doing? And while looking into one of the people, I saw a vision that is so universal and so grandiose and so beautiful. I remember the very first time I had that vision, and it was on 11/11/2017. That vision is so beautiful to me that I remember exact date when I saw it for the first time. So I'm gonna illustrate it here. Here, this is a spotlight. And a spotlight is kind of like an interface of your life. It's like this, like all you can see with your physical eyes. It's like a stage of your life. It's like a theater stage where you get to be the character of who you are. It's not just that, it's also, if you see yourself as a ray of light that is being projected onto you as a character, and that is being projected through the lens of who you are in this very moment in time. It's kind of like the ray of light is going through the structure of your being, which is very changeable and it changes all the time, and that is being projected on the outside. That interface, that spotlight, is this touching point of ray of light coming in contact with you, who you are in this moment in time, and then projecting outwards. It's kind of like you have this triangle, and then you have a ray of light, and then it goes through the triangle, and then it becomes a rainbow, you know what I mean? That's the spotlight. And then behind the spotlight, there is something I cannot paint, because it's ineffable, because it's unpaintable. So I'm going to ask you to use your imagination as I'm speaking. Here in the middle of the painting, there is a figure that goes upwards. So if I would have a 3D printer, I could do it, but I don't. So imagine an energy that just is enormous, enormously big. It's like bigger than what you can imagine. It's here and it's transparent. You cannot pinpoint it, you cannot grab it, you cannot put it down. And that is the source of you. That's the source of who you are, your inner being, your soul, your universe. Maybe that's not universe, universe is everything. But I would call it your soul, your inner being, your God, source of who you are. That's here. And when I saw it for the first time in 2017, I saw it for myself, and that person that was in the middle had almost nothing to do with this body, with this face, with this voice, with this name, with that space that I'm in. I was just one out of many characters that were orchestrated around that body, that ineffable body. And her face was something else. Her size was something else. Her energy was something else. And around her, there were other beings. So there was me, and then there was another me, and another me, and another, and another, and another, and another, and another, and then there was one in the spotlight here. Damn, that one is perfect as it is. Okay. That's what I was saying. I was seeing it kind of like a carnival carousel. It's like there's this one point in the middle around which all these like little horses are spinning around. And then there's this one point where you can see the carousel spinning around, and then that point is like the observer point, and that's the spotlight from the other side. Right? So that's what I was saying in one of the people that I had a chat with. And my chat went kind of like, hey, how are you doing? No, I'm not so great. I don't know. I wonder what went wrong, but I'm still here. That was one of the person that said to me that. Then I asked another person, hey, how are you doing? They were also not okay. But when I asked them, why, if you're not okay, why are you still here? The answer was, I have no other choice but to be here. Okay. Then I asked the third person, and that third person is the person through which I was seeing this vision. I asked her, how are you doing? And she said, I'm not okay because something happened that would, in all honesty, require reporting of some sort. But they decided not to report anything because they were afraid that if they report, there will be consequences. And then they also told me that they don't feel healthy because they don't like being in their workspace. And I asked them, why don't you find another job? And they answered, I can't find another job because there are no jobs out there. And if there are jobs, nobody's going to hire me. And who's going to employ me? So I might as well stay here. And yeah, and then I also had another chat with somebody else, and that somebody else told me, yeah, I'm not happy here either, but I mean, if I go somewhere else might be worse than here, so I might as well stay here. Then there was this like one person through which I had this vision, and while she was speaking about jobs out there not existing and jobs out there existing, and then there was this provisionary person that rejected her job application before she even applied for the job. While she was pointing on out there how difficult it is to get a job and how there are no choices and so on, I was seeing into this vision. And in this vision I was seeing all of her other selves being in the room with her. So while I was looking at her and asking her questions, why is she still here and why is she not speaking up about things that are so unfair, she pointed out on all these things outside, all the things that could go wrong. But I was seeing all these people being in the same room. So I want you to imagine for yourself right now in this very moment. You have, in any given moment of your life, in any micro moment and in any macro moment, in any micro and macro moment, which means in any given moment, in any now moment, plus in any, what am I speaking, any life chapter, you have multiple selves that are available to you. And so in micro moments, that would mean that here where I am right now, in this very moment, there are, for example, 9 other me's that could come and present themselves here. And each of them has a different relationship with the current present moment. Each of them, or each of me, or each of you, has a different way of seeing the world, a different way of relating to it, has a different perspective, different reference point. So for example, let's say we're talking about chocolate right now. There is a part of me who can tell you how much I love chocolate, and then there's a part of me who can tell you how much I don't like chocolate, and then there's a part of me who could tell you how I think chocolate is healthy, and then there's a part of me who can tell you how chocolate is not healthy, and then there's a part of me who can talk about cacao production, and then there's a part of me who can talk about pricing of chocolate, and then there is one of me who can talk about luxury chocolate that you can't really find just anywhere, and then there is one of me who can talk about Milka chocolate all day long. See what I'm getting at? And that also comes with all the personalities spectrum that you're on. So there's a part of you who can always be happy, and then there's a part of you who can always find something good about something, and then there's a part of you who can be sad, and then there's a part of you who can point blame, and then there's a part of you who can question themselves, and so on. And in each and every single now moment, you have multiple choices of who you can be, which one of you can put yourself in the spotlight and experience your life through that character of yourself. It doesn't have to be just one. In each and every given moment, you can choose another part of yourself to come into the spotlight. On a macro level, that means that you have multiple personalities that develop through time, which means that you will, in your life, inevitably spend some time being a primary school student, and then you're going to be a high school student, and then you're going to be university student, and then you're going to be a teacher, and then you're going to be a TED talker, and so on. And then you're going to be like, I don't know, a chef in a restaurant, and then you're going to be a super famous musician. All of that is possible, and all of those people are around you. And it's not just that they are exactly those people that I mentioned. It's that their number, whatever number I'm using through this painting, is just provisionary, just for the example. But they're actually infinite. All of them are infinite. And all of them multiply themselves in any given moment and through every given chapter. And so I want you to imagine for this very moment where you are, imagine that there are 9 different versions of you in a room, in this very room where you are. They may look exactly the same like you do. So it's kind of like a 𝔟𝐿𝐮𝐿 moment of your life. So there are 9 different versions of you in the room present, physically present. So you are, let's say I'm sitting here, and then on the chair there is another me, and then on the couch there is another me, and in the kitchen there is another me, and in front of my closet there is another me, and on the balcony there is another me, and playing drums is another me, and coming home from somewhere is another me, right? But there is multiple me's or multiple yous in this room. Ultimately, there's only one of you, there's only one of me, there's only one of us. But for this example of this painting, I want you to multiply yourself. And now, I'm coming into your space, and I'm talking to you, and I'm asking you, how are you doing? And let's say you have a job that you hate, and it makes you sick, literally. You're not just saying it for the sake of saying it. It's like you are literally getting sick. Like your mental health, your emotional health, your physical health, everything is going down because the amount of stress that you're having is just not in congruence with who you are as a soul, and there's a price to pay for that. And there are things that are unfair, and you want to do something about it, but you can't. And so I'm asking you exactly that. How are you doing? And you're telling me all of that. And so when I'm asking you, why don't you defend yourself? Why don't you stand up for yourself? When this is happening to you, why don't you speak up about it? Why don't you report something? And you're telling me, I can't do that because if I do so, there will be consequences. And what I'm seeing in this moment is not that there are consequences out there that are, flying around and you have to kind of try to avoid them. It's that the link between you who's in the spotlight, who speaks to me and I speak to you, and the link between you who's standing right beside you, who is a person that has ability to speak up for you. It's the person who has ability to set their boundaries. It's the person who knows what they accept and what they don't accept, what they're willing to tolerate and not. It's a person who knows what they deserve, what they value and what they don't value, and they act in accordance to their self-knowledge. The link between this person and the person who is in the spotlight is that of fear. The person who is in the spotlight is afraid that if this person comes into the spotlight, there will be consequences. Underneath that fear, there is this lack of trust that if this person comes into the spotlight, that they will actually be able to live up to their structure of self. The person who is in the spotlight doesn't believe that the person who has ability to stand up for themselves actually has ability to maintain the solidity of their own character or safety or security of being themselves. So the link between, it's as if like there is like a link between this that is not a full line. It's kind of like, not really. It's like sometimes it's there, sometimes it's not there. It's like the person who is in the spotlight knows that this person exists, but is not having a full trust in them. Then I'm asking you again, then why don't you find another job? Because there is this person here that is in a room, standing somewhere right next to you, And I'm asking you, why don't you find another job? Because I see this person working somewhere else. Not just that this person is employable, not just that they are easily likable, easily acceptable, and easily welcomable into another work environment, but it's also that they are fulfilled working somewhere else. And then you're telling me, no, nobody's gonna hire me. And what I'm seeing actually is not that nobody's gonna hire you out there. I'm seeing that the link between you who's in the spotlight and this person who is hireable, and who is not just hireable but also fulfilled in the work, there's no trust between this person and that person. The link between this one and that one is weak. It's based on lack of trust. It's disconnected. And then there are many other people in the room. Some of them are resting. Some of them are taken care of in other ways. Some of them are working somewhere else. Maybe they're not the most fulfilled ever, but at least they're healthy. And the link between each one of them, wherever they are in the room, is weak. And by weak means that the link, the relationship between you and you, is based on lack of trust, guilt, shame, fear, grief, apathy, hate, and desire. I'm not going to include pride in this. If you know, you know. I'm basing the strength of the link between you and every other you in the room is based on Dr. David Hawkins, I think it was, the map of consciousness. There's like weak frequencies and strong frequencies. And even desire is a weak frequency, because let's say this person here is a person who lives on another continent and they're having the best life that they could possibly have. That might have absolutely nothing to do with the current job that this person in the spotlight is having. This person is fulfilled, self-actualized, they have everything they ever wanted, the life is just beautiful, there's nothing to complain about. And I ask you in the spotlight, hey, what about this life over there? And you're like, yeah, I would want that, I really do. There's no connection in between. You're aware of it, there is desire for it, but wanting it is not the same as being it, and being it is not the same as like putting that one into the spotlight. So what I was shown in this case is that this links between each and every single one of you, if they are based on the lower spectrum of the frequency, which means that all these energies like guilt and shame and lack of trust, and lack of trust is not on the scale, by the way, but it's here. Fear, hate, anger, desire, grief, apathy. Like if a link is based on those energies, you're gonna feel weakened. You're gonna feel weak. You're gonna get sick. You're gonna get tired. You're not going to function at your best. And then this whole team, the whole group of you that is in one room, I see it as a team of people that works for the same organization being you. And the most important factor of this team of people is the connection between one another, the connection between you and you. And if that connection is weak, then you have a weak team. You see what I'm getting at? You have a weak team. And you get victimized by life. Weak team, victim. And it's not just the connection between like all of these people horizontally, because they do kind of happen to be horizontally. Like all these people that you have in your room, in your Being 𝔟𝐻𝐻𝐿 episode that I'm creating for you right now, it's not just that you have to have a strong, positively charged, loving, trustful, accepting, joyful, curious, courageous, trustful, did I say that? Yeah, blissful, peaceful relationship with one another. It's not just that horizontally all the people in the room need to have good connection with one another, which would mean that if I ask you, why don't you get another job, you don't respond to me in a way that you don't trust that this other person that is right next to you is like, oh no, don't trust that person. It's like, they're not gonna get a job, they don't deserve to be happy. You don't speak to me about them in such a way. Instead, if I ask you, why don't you get another job, you connect with this other person as if it's your best friend, as if it's your sister and brother, as if it's your family, as if it's somebody that you are proud to have in your life. And it's not just that, I'm repeating myself a little bit, it's not just the horizontal level of connections, but it's also the connection of this major being that is not in this picture because it's so big. Because at this time, at this point where I am accessing this energy, I'm also sensing the energy in the field where many people have connected with all aspects of themselves to the point where currently it might even seem as if there is, like, you tried and put your faith and trust into every single part of you, those that you know and those that you don't know, and you allowed them to emerge. And you tried and you did your best. You did all the earthly job of establishing horizontal connection with every single part of yourself. And you reached a point of not knowing what comes next or what to do next. And then this is where this ineffable part comes into being. Because when this is here, then this is not just spinning around in a circle, but it also kind of goes in a spiral and it goes up. And then each aspect, especially that one which is in the spotlight, connects, kind of like builds a connection that isn't like this, and isn't like this, and isn't like this, but it's a straight line. It's like this. And it goes in a circle. And it goes round and round and round. Where each person is connected to the spotlight, and the spotlight is connected to the middle. And it just goes round and round and round. And I'm not here to teach manifestation, and I'm not here to teach you how to operate your frequencies and so on. I'm just literally drawing what I see. And I could tell you that, improving the connection between every single aspect of you, and shifting those energy links from weak into strong ones. So if you're in fear, try to find love. If you're in hate, try to find connection and acceptance. If you're in fear, you can also try to find courage. And if you are apathetic, you can try to, you don't have to jump immediately into something super positively charged, like peace and love and bliss, but you can at least try to get some level up, get angry. Anger also has a lot of energy that can move you in a particular direction, and you can utilize this to get yourself out of whatever you don't want to be in, and then eventually you can move that anger into acceptance and or courage and or willingness, and so on and on and on. I could tell you that, improving the links between every single aspect of you is good for you and it can work for you, especially in situations like this where, you're somewhere where you don't like to be, and ideally you would want to have your back. You would want to get yourself out of that situation. But I'm also saying that you don't have to do that. You don't. You don't. I see how I could spend another lifetime creating a YouTube channel, teaching you how to do exactly that, but I don't have to. And you don't have to either. You don't have to turn every single link into a stronger one. You don't. Because even if you choose not to, you choose it for a reason. And we all have to suffer for as long as we have to, until we don't anymore. This is why we're on the planet Earth. So even if you choose not to do anything about anything and just keep yourself where you feel like you don't belong, that is still for the benefit of your soul, because it creates the exact amount of pressure and tension over time that you need in order to get yourself exactly where you need to be, and to experience life in exactly the type of way that you need to experience it. That's all. Take care.